Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive.
From AI-inspired insights from farmers.
If you're enjoying what we're doing here, we'd love to hear from you too.
Absolutely.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely leave a comment telling us what you want to see more of on this deep dive.
We're always looking for new ideas, and we really value your feedback.
So what farm-related mysteries are you dying to uncover?
Right.
What questions are keeping you up at night? Let us know, and maybe we'll tackle them in a future deep dive.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking into something really becoming key in modern farming. Drone technology. Specifically how drones are used for monitoring and, well, keeping an eye on things security-wise.
That's right. And we know if you're maybe new to farming or just thinking about it, figuring out all this tech can seem a bit much.
Definitely. So our mission today is to cut through the noise.
Yeah.
We want to pull out the really important stuff about surveillance drones for farms.
Exactly. We're aiming for practical knowledge, especially for beginners. We'll touch on some top drone models, how AI fits in, the ethical things to consider.
Legal stuff too, right. And maybe some security thoughts plus what's coming down the line.
Yep. We've looked at quite a few different sources to try and give you a well-rounded picture.
Okay, great. So let's unpack this then. Where should we start? Maybe with some specific drones that farmers are actually using.
Sounds good. When we talk surveillance, especially for someone new to drones, you really want models that are, let's say, forgiving but still capable. User-friendly is key.
Makes sense. I saw the DJI Mavic 3 Enterprise mentioned. It sounds pretty high-tech with that omnidirectional obstacle avoidance, seeing things 200 feet away.
Yeah, that's a big one. For a beginner, that feature alone can save you a lot of headaches, maybe even a crash. It's a significant safety net where you get the hang of flying.
And it has a thermal camera, detecting tiny temperature differences like 2 degrees Celsius.
Exactly. Imagine trying to find livestock scattered across a big field after dark, or maybe spotting a piece of machinery that's running unusually hot. That thermal capability is huge for monitoring.
Okay, I can see that. Especially if you're still learning what to look for visually.
And it doesn't stop there. It uses AI, artificial intelligence, to actually tell the difference between people, vehicles, and animals.
Oh, right. So it won't just alert you every time a deer walks by.
Pretty much. It cuts down on those false alarms, which saves you time and, frankly, worry. Plus, it flies for about 46 minutes and can handle a bit of weather.
Okay, that's a strong start. What else is out there?
Well, there's the Autel Robotics EVO2 Pro. Now, its basic setup might not have thermal, but its camera is seriously good. 6K resolution with a big 1-inch sensor.
6K, so really sharp pictures.
Incredibly detailed. If you need to zoom in on your crops to check for disease or look closely at a fence line or a building roof, that clarity is fantastic. You see potential problems much earlier.
I see. And does it have obstacle avoidance too?
It does, yeah. A 12-direction system, so it's got sensors looking pretty much everywhere around it, up to about 30 feet out. Gives you that 360-degree protection. Another layer of security for, new pilots.
Good, good. Now, what if you wanted something maybe less obvious, more discreet?
Then you might look at the Parrot Anafi USA. It's kind of built with privacy and discretion in mind.
How so?
Well, it has a 4K camera, HDR too, with a really strong zoom, 32x digital zoom. So you can monitor your boundaries, maybe check on things further away without having the drone right on top of them. It's also designed to be quieter.
Okay, quiet operation and strong zoom. I can see that being useful, especially around livestock you don't want to spook, or just keeping a low profile.
Exactly. Now, shifting gears a bit, for really large operations, there's something like the JOUAV CW15E.
That sounds substantial.
It is. We're talking potentially an 8-hour flight time, a range of maybe 200 kilometers. It's built for surveying huge areas.
Wow, 8 hours. That's basically all day.
Right. And it's tough, handles different weather, and it's VTOPL.
VTOL.
Vertical takeoff and landing. So it doesn't need a runway. It can lift off and land pretty much anywhere, which is great for rough or uneven farm terrain. It's definitely more advanced, but for big farms, it's an option.
Got it. Okay, one more maybe.
Let's look at the Skydio 2 Plus Re. Its big selling point is its autonomy, its AI flying skills.
So it flies itself really well.
Extremely well. It uses AI and multiple cameras for a full 360 view to navigate really complex environments, like orchards, around buildings, that sort of thing. It's very good at not crashing.
And for security.
It has this thing called keyframe technology. Basically, you can set up automated patrol routes. The drone flies the route itself, making routine security checks much easier to manage.
Automated patrols. Now, you mentioned AI a few times there. It feels like that's becoming a really core part of this technology, not just fancy cameras.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
AI is what's turning these drones from simple flying cameras into, well, intelligent tools.
How does that work in practice? Like, beyond just recognizing people versus animals?
Well, take the Autel EVO Max 4T, for example. It uses AI-powered navigation for autonomous surveillance over fields. Or think about crop health. AI analyzes data from special sensors, like multispectral ones.
Multispectral, like a seeing different light wavelengths.
Exactly. AI can look at that data and spot signs of stress in crops, maybe not enough water or nutrients, or even early signs of disease, often before you'd see it with your own eyes.
Wow. Okay, so it's diagnostic too.
And predictive. AI can analyze imagery to help optimize when you harvest or even predict your yield potential. There are software platforms too, like Pix4D Fields or AeroView, that use AI to make sense of drone data, create maps, variable rate plans for applying fertilizer.
So, for a beginner farmer, the AI basically helps translate all that complex data into something actionable without needing a PhD in remote sensing.
That's the big advantage, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes the insights much more accessible.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly powerful, but what about the downsides? Are there, ethical things or legal hoops to jump through?
That's a really important conversation to have. Ethically, the big one is privacy. Yes, you're flying over your own land, but you need to be careful not to accidentally spy on your neighbors.
Right, point the camera away from their house, basically.
Essentially, yeah. Be mindful. The Parrot Nanofi USA we mentioned, being designed for discretion, kind of hints at this being a known concern.
And the legal side, you can't just fly these anywhere, can you?
Definitely not. In the U.S., the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, has rules. If your drone weighs more than 0.55 pounds, which most of these surveillance ones will, it needs to be registered.
Okay, registration. What else?
Generally, you need to keep the drone within your visual line of sight. You can't just send it off miles away on its own, usually. And there's an altitude limit, typically 400 feet above the ground.
And some places have extra rules. Near airports, maybe.
Exactly. Airports are a big one, but there can be other restricted areas too. So you really need to check the specific rules for your area before you fly. Don't just assume it's okay because it's your property.
So doing your homework on local regulations is crucial. What about using it for the farm as a business? Does that change things?
It often does. If you're using the drone for commercial purposes and farm security or monitoring would likely count, you should seriously look into getting a remote pilot certificate from the FAA.
Okay, a pilot certificate. Good to know.
And one more point on data. Think about where the images and videos are stored. If it's going up to the cloud, it's worth checking the company's data privacy policy. Just know how your information is being handled.
Right, data security. Okay. Now, let's flip the script a bit. What if you're a farmer and you think someone else is flying an unauthorized drone over your property? What can you do?
That's a tricky area, actually. The main focus in our sources was on farmers using drones. Countering unauthorized ones is more complex legally, but the first step is always awareness.
Just paying attention.
Yeah. Be aware of your airspace. Notice drones that seem out of place or flying patterns that don't make sense for, your operations or your neighbors.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, having clear property lines, maybe some signage, can act as a general deterrent. It's not a direct anti-drone measure, but it reinforces boundaries. Really, the best defense is knowing what normal drone activity looks like in your area, partly by being a responsible operator yourself if you have one.
Makes sense. So looking ahead now, where is all this heading? What's the future of farm surveillance with drones?
I think we'll see a lot more automation. Drones flying patrols on their own, like we touched on with Skydio and Autel.
Yeah.
AI is going to get even smarter.
So less hands-on flying needed.
Potentially, yes. And deeper integration with other tech. Think AI combined with even better sensors, multispectral thermal LiDAR for detailed 3D mapping, all feeding into sophisticated software for total farm management from the air.
We're already seeing some of that with crop analysis, right?
Exactly, and drones will likely fly longer and cover more ground. We mentioned the JOUAV, but others like the Eagle EBX are also built for endurance over large areas.
And carrying more tools at once.
Yep, more sophisticated payloads. Maybe one drone carrying several different types of sensors, like the FreeFly Astro aims to do, get all the data in one flight.
That sounds efficient. Will it get cheaper for smaller farms?
That seems to be the trend. More affordable options, easier to use software, like Parrot's offerings. And look out for drone docking stations. Think the DJI Dock series.
Docking stations, like a little house for the drone.
Kind of. where it can land, recharge itself, and then take off again for its next mission, all automatically. That opens the door to potentially continuous unattended monitoring.
Wow. Okay.
And finally, drones won't just watch. They're already starting to do things. Precision seeding, spot spraying weeds or pests. The DJI Agris line is all about that. The line between monitoring and actually doing farm tasks is blurring.
Okay, quite a future unfolding there. Now, before we wrap up, you mentioned a bonus insight for our listeners.
Yes, a simple tip, really, for spotting potentially unauthorized drones over your property.
Okay, let's hear it.
The easiest thing to look for is unusual flight patterns, especially at low altitudes. Is a drone flying back and forth in a grid over a part of your property where it has no business being? Is it just hovering for a long time in one spot?
Patterns that don't match normal farm work or known activity.
Exactly. Patterns that seem systematic or just odd. Different from how a bird flies, usually more mechanical, more consistent. And listen too, while some are quiet, many drones have a distinct, steady hum.
So look for weird, repetitive, low-altitude patterns. Maybe listen for the sound. And if you can, try to get a visual, maybe with binoculars, to confirm it looks like a drone.
That's pretty much it. It's about noticing activity that feels out of place for your specific farm environment.
Great tip, thanks. So let's try and sum this up. Drones are clearly powerful tools for farm surveillance now, offering data, improving security, useful for farms big and small.
Right. And AI is making them smarter and, importantly, easier to get real value from, even if you're new to it all. Understanding the rules, the regulations, and just being aware of the technology are really the key first steps.
We hope this deep dive gave you a good shortcut to understanding those essentials, the key drones, the AI, the rules, and what might be coming next.
We covered a lot, from specific models and their features to the bigger picture of AI integration, legal duties, security awareness, and future possibilities.
And it leaves us with a final thought, perhaps. As this drone technology keeps evolving so quickly, how will it fundamentally change not just how we, watch our farms, but maybe our whole relationship with the land itself?
That's definitely something to ponder as you think about how this tech might fit into your own agricultural journey.
Indeed. Thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive. We hope this exploration has been valuable. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
Hitting that like button and smash that subscribe.